Greetings YouTube, greetings Facebook. Bror Fredrik coming to you with another live casino report. Today was the Treasure Island. I got there about 2 hours ago. Figured I had some time. Gonna take a little look around. Oh, these bumps kill me every time. I gotta get a truck or something to do these. Anyhow, so here we are leaving the Treasure Island. As you can see, take a little cruise up the strip. And I'll tell you all about it. Once we get over these humps, there we go. All right, we're back on the strip, almost. So, Treasure Island, the TI, as we used to call it back in the 90s, and now they call themselves the TI, so I think that's kind of cool. So, let's see, first things first, I don't know if I'm going to continue to call them reopening reports because they've been reopened for quite a while, although on Thursday we have some openings that I am going to attend, which is the Luxor, so that's kind of exciting, and the shops at Mandalay, but I'll hold off on them until the first when the Mandalay Bay does actually open. So, getting into the little review, granted, it's a Tuesday afternoon. It was quiet. It was very, very quiet. You'll see a video tomorrow. I'll put up a full 4K walkthrough, just like I did. If you want to check the links in the description, there is a 4K walkthrough of the glorious Red Rock in glorious 4K on the channel, so go have a look at that. It's about 15 minutes long, but the Red Rock was pristine, so a shout out to Red Rock. So back to the TI. TI was rather empty. TI was... They were doing a little construction. I don't know if anyone ever entered from the bridge from the parking garage, but that is, holy cow, that is the longest elevator and the longest set of stairs on earth. If that's not the Guinness Book of World Records, I don't know what is. And one of them was actually out, so you had to go down about 300 steps in order to get into the casino or wait for the single elevator. So that was a bit of a hassle getting in. Parking was no problem. Like I said, it was kind of empty. You'll see the video, the walkthrough video tomorrow of the place. They had one table game going in the entire place, a 3-person blackjack table, and that's it. They're installing screens, those plexiglass dividers on some of the other ones, but it was empty. There was barely any people in there. I'd say if there was 100 people in there, that would be a lot. So I'm not knocking them. I'm not knocking the TI, but for a Tuesday, for a reopening, it was kind of quiet. And that was kind of sad to see. Gillies was closed. The cafes were open. Let's talk about the procedure for heat checks. There was none. I get a lot of questions about that on YouTube, and I do cover those in all the review videos, not so much the walkthrough videos, because I just don't show that procedure out of respect for them. I've been asked not to, so I don't. Not that they have anything to hide, but, you know, who wants to see that? So there is no temperature check going in there. Now, I have a feeling, and I would also make a recommendation, if anyone would listen to me on the properties, to start doing it. The Wynn does it. Some of the local casinos do it. The Venetian, the Palazzo, you have to go through a temperature screen to get in there. And I think if the properties want to avoid being closed back down, because they're going to be the ones who get blamed if our numbers spike. The small businesses and definitely the casinos. So it might be in their own best interest to start doing it at the door to everyone who walks in there. That way they can just brush their hands and say, well, we checked everyone. Plus, it'd be a good screening method. Someone could be walking around with the corona and not know it until they walk into the TI, you know, that type of deal. But as of right now, the TI does not do temperature screening to get in. A lot of the properties are doing it just if you're checking in. So you can walk in and out, you know, go about your business, no problem whatsoever. I had a small meeting today at the Gold Coast, and I was checked there, so that's always appreciated. I don't know if I'm into it or not, but I just think it's in the best interest of the property to start doing everybody. Speaking of which, I'll just jump off subject, getting to something local real fast. Tomorrow, the governor, Governor Sisolak is going to speak about coronavirus, our numbers, and I hope I'm wrong. There's one thing I hope I'm wrong about, that he might make mask wearing in businesses or in public where social distancing is not available mandatory. And that is something I'm totally not thrilled about, but that is part of the conversation tomorrow, so you might want to stay tuned to hear what Sisolak has to say. And he'll probably also address the rent moratorium, which is set to expire in a couple of days. Getting back to the TI, there was, being that there was only 100 people, but still, it's a big place. There was only one cocktail waitress in the entire place, because I asked. I'm sure that doesn't thrill a whole lot of people. And as far as the mask to no mask ratio, I would say this place was in the 40% wearing, 30 to 40% wearing, and 60 to 70% not wearing masks. So if mask wearing is your thing, Treasure Island might not be. But I will say this, I've noticed two things. I've noticed more mask wearing at the higher end properties for some reason, and the higher end properties, including Caesars, are incentivizing people to do it, and they're passing them out at the door. I don't know exactly what the incentives is, but supposedly they're incentivizing it through your player's card. I don't know, free play or whatever the heck they got going on. So, if, like I said, if masks are your thing, TI might not be. But part two of that would be, I think as time wears on, people are more reluctant and more reluctant and more reluctant to wear a mask. So I think I'll revisit the higher end properties and see if that's the case. So either the lower end properties are not... how would I say? It's not mandatory, but they're not making a show of it. They're not handing them out at the door. Whereas you take a look at Caesars, they have an EMT at every entrance with the full garb and, you know, the badges, the uniform, passing out masks, so you feel almost obligated, like it's something you need to do. So I'm going to go revisit that, but at the same time, people might be over it. So just bear that in mind. So as far as the TI goes, had a good time. Didn't have any problems with the TI. The TI, it's showing its age. It's not the youngest property, and they are doing a little renovations. They do got the, you know, little coconut, what do you call it, pina colada smell in the air like they always do. But it wasn't the busiest place. Granted, it was the afternoon. Still had a good time. Still did a nice walkthrough. The place does look clean. I did see a lot of people, maintenance, wiping down machines after people got up from them. And that's something I haven't seen in a lot of the properties. In some of the properties, you have to request a cleaning. Some of them have a system where after you're done playing, you could tell them to come over and wash it. But these people, granted, again, not a lot of people in there, so, you know, maybe they needed something to do. But as soon as someone got up, they went in there and wiped the machine down real nice. So, you know, that was, that should be a comfort to anyone who's concerned about that. So that is the TI. Look forward to the full 4K video on that tomorrow. I appreciate everyone subscribing. I appreciate everyone who's been following, and I appreciate everyone who's been commenting. And I do get to every single comment until I can't, but for right now, I'm getting to every single comment and every single question. If you have a property, if you have a place that you'd like me to review, I will go ahead and do that. I have a little list, so as you recommend, I go. You want to see something, I'll show it to you. And on that note, Bror Fredrik out.